As I've been in the crypto space for about 6 years now, these are 3 mistakes that I've seen beginners to crypto make, in my opinion, and also wish I had known when I first got into crypto. Hopefully you don't make these same mistakes. So the first mistake is not having an emergency fund before getting into crypto. You want to make sure that you have an emergency fund before you get into any sort of investing, and this is especially true for crypto as crypto's volatile to the max. You always want to make sure that you're in a financial position to be able to cover your most basic expenses like food, housing, utilities, and etc. before you invest your money. Should an emergency pop up and you need money, you don't want to be in a position where you have to sell your coins to pay for your expenses, especially if the value of those coins is lower than what you had bought them for. You want to be in a position where you can choose to hold the coins rather than cashing them out. You don't want to end up buying high and selling low. This can be avoided by having that emergency fund. Now, in terms of the amount that you should have in your emergency fund, this will vary for everyone because everyone's financial situation's different. However, a good rule of thumb would be to have a minimum of 3 months worth of expenses or gross income, whichever one is higher. A more conservative number would be 6 months of expenses or gross income. This all depends on the reliability and consistency of your current income sources. The second mistake is not spending enough time to learn how to keep one's crypto safe, as there are a plethora of ways that one can lose their coins. I've seen time and time again people who don't know anything about crypto just jumping in with money that they can't afford to lose and learning as they go. In my opinion, this is disastrous. Scams, hacks, and the lack of awareness on how to keep coins safe are more prevalent than you think. A lot of this has to do with the fact that crypto's still the Wild West of traditional finance. The industry is still growing and there's still a lack of regulation behind it to ensure that there are checks and balances in place. If you look at what has happened last year, there's the collapse of Luna and companies like 3AC, Celsius, BlockFi, and FTX all becoming insolvent. These are just some examples from last year alone and aren't isolated events. If you look back in time, there's the fall of VirgoCX, BitConnect, and OneCoin. This just goes to show that there are so many ways to lose your money or coins in crypto. Even for myself, as experienced as I am in crypto, I'm not immune to losing money. I lost money in UST and BlockFi, but fortunately, it was a small amount, which was less than $100 combined. Now, the last mistake is not having an investment plan and sticking to it. This is much easier said than done. When investing, you really want to separate your emotions from your decisions as much as possible. Both fear and greed is what will cause you to buy high and sell low. By having a plan and sticking to it, you'll have better odds of buying low and selling high. Just as the saying goes, if you fail to plan, you're planning to fail. If you've never seen this Wall Street cheat sheet, Psychology of a Market Cycle before, this pretty much explains it all. When market sentiment is at the thrill and euphoria stage, that's when, in my opinion, a lot of retail investors who don't know anything about crypto start piling in, all because of FOMO. They believe that they're missing out by not jumping in. When people who shouldn't be in crypto are getting in, that's your cue to start cashing out. And when all the people who shouldn't have been in crypto are panicking, capitulating, and have been flushed out, that's when you should be buying. Just as Warren Buffett has said, be fearful when others are greedy and greedy when others are fearful. I do want to caution you on this idea though, because not everything will go back up in value. You'll want to make sure that you've done your research on the coins and that the coin has good underlying fundamentals. Now, if you're not sure how much you should invest, I would say that you should start off with a really immaterial amount that won't negatively affect your lifestyle. A good number to start off with would be 1% of your after expense amount. As an example, if your after tax income is $5,000 a month and your expenses are $3,000 a month, then that leaves you with $2,000 a month. I would say start off with just 1% of that $2,000, which would be $20. Do that for a couple of months first, and if you feel like that amount's too low, then consider increasing your amount until you start to feel uncomfortable with the amount that you're putting in. This is just an idea, and what you do is up to you, but just make sure that you stick to whatever plan you have, and my advice is to not FOMO buy when prices are heating up and panic sell when prices are tanking. Thanks for watching.